Hello everyone, my name is Ryan Cam, and welcome back to the AFI project. Today we're going to be taking a look at It Happened One Night. This was directed by Frank Capra, the director of It's a Wonderful Life, and Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. Check those reviews out in the eye in the right-hand corner. It's based on the short story called Night Bus, written by Samuel Hopkins Adams. That's certainly a name. And it starred Clark Gable and Claudette Colbert. It tells the story of a socialite named Ellie Andrews, played by Colbert. She is the heir to a massive fortune, like in the millions of dollars. But she wants some excitement in her life, so she just messes around and elopes a guy named King Westley and runs away from home. But she is somewhat of a public figure, and she gets found out by a reporter named Peter Warren, played by Clark Gable. Warren just got fired and is looking for his way back into the journalism game, so the two strike a deal. He helps her get to her husband, and she gives him an entertaining story to get him back on his journalist feet. Just to show all of you just how lauded this movie is, it's one of only 3 movies to win all 5 major Academy Awards. Those awards being Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, Best Actress, and Best Adapted Screenplay. For all you completionists out there, the other 2 movies to do this were One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and The Silence of the Lambs. In a bit of a recurring theme on this segment, the main actors in the movie, Claudette Colbert and Clark Gable, were not supposed to be in this movie. According to my research, Ellie was supposed to be played by Bette Davis, who is like the Scarlett Johansson of her day, aka she was a pretty big deal. And from my research I learned that Colbert was not exactly excited to be a part of this movie. She had worked with director Frank Capra before on a movie called For the Love of Mike, and it didn't do too well at the box office. Colbert only agreed to do the movie if her shooting schedule was limited to just 4 weeks, and she was paid double her normal salary. To give some perspective, her normal salary was $50,000. So she was essentially being paid 6 figures to be in a movie that she didn't want to be a part of. And as far as Clark Gable goes, well, he really wasn't supposed to be in this movie at all. Not for any casting reasons, but because he was an employee of MGM. And It Happened One Night was produced by Columbia. Gable and MGM were giving each other a bit of the cold shoulder because Gable had refused to play a role for them in one of their films. And again, in a bit of a tradition on this review segment, despite the fact that this movie had a lot of tension going on behind the scenes, they still managed to churn out an enjoyable movie. I had a lot of fun with this. The basic plot of It Happened One Night is that 2 people who, in any other circumstance, would never know each other have to get from one place to another, and normally it's a pretty tension-filled situation. I can think of a couple movies that pop into my head with a very similar premise to that. But what makes the movie enjoyable is the chemistry between Clark Gable and Claudette Colbert. Colbert was my favorite part of this movie. I think in a weird roundabout way, It Happened One Night was like the trunk, the nucleus of all of the road trip movies that have sprung up in the decades since its release. Everything from the main character's vehicle malfunctioning, and so one of the characters has to do something outlandish in order to get them a ride, or a side character who is hot on their trail and kinda failing miserably at it. If you name a road trip movie cliche, I think it can be traced back to It Happened One Night. Even as far as recent movies, I remember watching this movie for the Hidden Gems podcast from 2006 called The Road to Christmas. And this movie, and The Road to Christmas, has a very eerily similar plot to It Happened One Night. And at the end of the day, I have a lot of respect for this movie. I think it has paved the way for a lot of the road trip movies that we see today. Not to mention the fact that this movie had a great cast, including Gable and Colbert, who were 2 big stars of the day. But it also was directed by Frank Capra, and I've talked about him on this review segment quite a bit. And my rule regarding Capra movies is that no matter how dark the movie gets, at the end of the day, the good guys get to win. And I could safely say that this movie is definitely one of his more lighthearted movies, at least the ones that I've seen. But at the end of the day, the good guys get to win, so it all goes back to my general rule with Capra movies. It Happened One Night was very enjoyable. If you haven't seen this movie, I do recommend that you check it out. I think it holds up very well. Well, that is all for me, guys. Thank you so much, as always, for watching. Next time on the AFI Project, we're going to be taking a look at a movie based off of one of the greatest plays ever written. It starred Marlon Brando and Vivian Leigh, and it was directed by On the Waterfront's Elia Kazan. It is A Streetcar Named Desire. But if you like this video, please be sure to leave a like, comment your thoughts down below, and if you like this video and you want to see more like it, hit the subscribe button and click the bell to allow notifications. That way, when a new video drops, you'll be the first to know about it. My name is Ryan Cam, and I'll see you in the next one.